Hello, my name is Scott Davis. Welcome to New World Birth. This is the care and feeding of a New World Age report for the Gregorian date of October 9th, 2016, and one Lamat or star or rabbit or Venus in the Mayan Zolkin calendar with the Aries full moon and Venus entering Sagittarius. October 9th is one Lamat, and it carries the themes of abundance, playfulness, fertility, growth, rightness, physical pleasure and spiritual inspiration, artistry, creation, joy, and humor. And one star is also known as one rabbit and one Venus. And the glyph for star is the planet Venus, which is associated with death and rebirth, as Venus disappears as the evening star and then reappears as the morning star. And Venus is the morning star after the inferior conjunction, when it's in front of the sun and cannot be seen due to its close proximity to the sun, which lasts about 8 days, and then before its superior conjunction, when Venus is behind the sun and not visible for about 50 days. And then Venus is the evening star after the superior conjunction and before the inferior conjunction. And both the morning star phase and the evening star phase last approximately 260 days. And of course, 260 days is exactly the length of the Zolkin round, and one star is the final trecena of the 260-day round. So the next care and feeding will celebrate a new round with one Amish or crocodile on October 22nd. And I think it's really interesting that modern Mayanologists have emphasized the Venus transit across the face of the sun in relation to Mayan cosmology. But the Dresden Codex, which details precise knowledge of Venus's full cycle, makes no mention of the transit, which then makes me wonder if this is a modern projection onto the Maya, because although the Venus transit, which occurs twice every 243 years during the inferior conjunction, is remarkable when viewed from the Earth, it's certainly a lesser energetic force compared to the superior conjunction when Venus is behind the sun and traveling in the same direction. After all, we Westerners love pyrotechnics, and we really might have missed the boat regarding the actual energetic as it relates to the spiritual realm. This 13-day period would be a good time to be grateful for any abundance or harvest in our lives, whether it be food or spiritual insight. And before I get into the daily energy for one Lamat, on the 9th, all the planets appear to be moving forward from our vantage point here on the Earth, with the exception of Chiron and Uranus and Neptune, which appear to be moving retrograde or in reverse motion. And remember, the themes of retrograde planets are about review of the past, reevaluate, reminisce, and we can see these themes being played out. Chiron retrograde has us reviewing our wounds so that they can be released by having the courage to open our hearts to any fear or pain associated with our past. And if you find yourself recalling painful events or situations between now and when Chiron turns direct on November 30th, it's advisable to remain conscious while dealing with these uncomfortable feelings, as they will reveal a path to healing and letting go of what no longer serves a purpose in our upcoming journey. And then Uranus retrograde in Aries seeks to shake our very foundation through the unexpected rebellion of the individual. Uranus in Aries will have people wanting to hurry the process of getting free, to push the river of revolution, whether it be personal or political. Uranus in astrology forces us outside of our comfort zone, so we have to look for new possibilities outside of the box. And this can be unplanned experiences that disrupt our perceived or planned life path in order to move us forward in our spiritual evolution individually and globally. And then Neptune retrograde in Pisces is seeking transcendence through spiritual experiences. This will be a time to use spiritual practices to keep ourselves grounded as we expand our intuition and consciousness. Both Neptune and Pisces, the sign that it rules tend to be dreamy, imaginative, difficult to nail down due to their qualities of illusion and illumination, often without any way to know which is which. They represent compassion and codependence, selflessness and loss of self, higher purpose and substance abuse in their inspiration to transcend the material plane and experience something beyond words and thoughts. So let's look at the daily vibrational energy for the Trecena. October 9th is one Lamat, or star, or rabbit, or Venus, which is about unity experience through being grateful for abundant relationships in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. I'm not going to be covering the daily lunar activity in these reports other than new and full moons, but that information is available on the New World Birth daily Facebook post and on the blogger New World Birth blog. The 10th is two Maluk, or offering, duality experience through appreciating all of creation. October 11th is 3 Ak, or dog, which is about taking action through enjoying family and friends, while we have Mercury conjunct Jupiter. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mercury and Jupiter are at the same degree in Libra, and this has us looking at the larger issues in life. It helps our comprehension by seeing the bigger perspective and incorporating new information. It also is more tolerance for the viewpoints of others. This is a time of evaluating our hopes and dreams along with our overall plans for the future. This can be quite optimistic and particularly good for business and commercial transactions, contract negotiations, and dealing with the law, especially if we recognize that we get what we want by helping others fulfill their needs. Encouragement comes naturally during this transit, and we're likely to feel our communications are expansive, not only in quality but also in the scope of topics. Also on the 11th, we have Mars in a sextile to Neptune. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mars is forming a 60-degree angle with Neptune, bringing a time of where the ego really takes a back seat to seeing the world with a greater sensitivity and heightened intuition. This brings a perspective when looking at friends and the folks we interact with greater compassion and desire to help out. It's a great energetic for activities like walking, meditations, yoga, or Chai Chi, or something that links a physical activity with spiritual experiences and creative projects. Also on the 11th, Venus is in a trine to Chiron, which will help heal old wounds that we've become aware of from our interactions, the interactions of the planet of love and money with the planet of wounding and healing. Excuse me, we're likely to have healing conversations and relationships with others, helping us address rough areas in relationships and increasing our sense of self-worth. The 12th is for Shawin, or monkey, stability through creating something new in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. October 13th is 5 Ebb, or road. This is about empowerment through serving your community, with Mercury in a square to Mars. So from our perspective here on Earth, Mercury is forming a 90-degree angle with Mars. This has people feeling touchy and irritable with almost any communications interpreted as a challenge. It's hard to imagine that people don't get set off by the implied attitude of this transit. People will feel the drive to defend their ideas, from a simple debate to an all-out fight. This is a time. It's important to realize that beliefs and thoughts can change, and not to identify our ego with them. This transit indicates the potential to be involved in accidents. Is particularly likely for somebody who's trying to suppress their anger. The 14th, excuse me, is 6 Ben, or reed, or corn, which is about being in the flow through maintaining the home. And at this point, we have Mercury in a sextile to Saturn. So this is another 90 degree, not 90 degree, 60 degree angle between Mercury and Saturn, which is great for constructive criticism that comes from being able to see what can be improved in our surrounding environment. We are very conscious of the flaws, including our own, so we can use our critical eye to figure out what should be changed to bring improvement. This can be very serious in its pursuit of betterment. So make sure you're honoring what is positive and not getting overwhelmed by the many imperfections that are in view with this transit. Older people may serve as teachers or mentors at this time. This is nice energy for working carefully on any mental task from a place of concentration and precision, whereas activities that require a greater scope of vision may be more difficult. This is really about details rather than the overall pattern. You know, the idea that there's difficulty seeing the forest for the trees. And then October 15th is 7 Ish or Jaguar, which is a reflection through enjoying nature, while we have the Sun in opposition to Uranus. So from our perspective here on the Earth, this is a 180 degree angle between the Sun and Uranus, which brings a day that is quite different from the norm. This could be experienced as restlessness in close relationships through one or the other feeling impatient, unwilling to put up with something, which could lead to arguments. In business partnerships, this may require a radical change due to some unexpected new information or situation. This will be a time of surprise or upset related to parts of yourself that you have not received adequate expression in the past. This is a time to figure out what you want and later figure out if it's practical. For those that do not find conscious expression of this energy, they may find it more accident prone under this influence. After all, the winds of change are blowing us in a direction that we are now aware of, particularly due to Pluto's deeper perspective, because also on the 15th, we have Mercury in a square to Pluto. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mercury is at a 90 degree angle to Pluto, which may have folks could be more obsessed about some thought or idea. So it's important in conversations to be open to others' points of views and not be forceful in getting others to agree with our beliefs. This may be a time where we experience one thought that dominates the day and leaves little room for anything else. This energy can easily provoke arguments over things that won't seem important in a few days. If you use this energy to explore your inner world, it can bring to light something that was hidden in the depths of our psyches. It's really great energy for studying subjects that deal with covert or hidden aspects, such as psychology or magic or the occult, as well as meditation and yoga, to unveil other possibilities of the human potential. And then on the 16th, we have 8 Man or Eagle, balanced through seeing from a higher perspective, as we have the Aries Full Moon, which is only opposed by the Sun. There's no other major aspects to this lunation. Full moons are a time of tension, as the Sun in Libra, which is about balancing needs of those we have relationships with, and then our own personal, trying to balance that with our own personal emotional needs as individuals represented by the moon in Aries. And this moon is called the full hunter's moon, the blood moon, the sanguine moon, or the full harvest moon by Native Americans, as the leaves fall from the trees and the deer are fattened and flocks could be seen in the fields gleaning fallen grains from the harvest. This is about a time of storing meat for the long winter ahead. This moon is also traditionally celebrated as a feast day by Native American tribes and also in Western Europe. October 17th is 9 Ki, or wisdom, patience experienced through being introspective, through introspection, meditation, or forgiveness in the Mayan Zolkin calendar. The 18th is 10 Kaban, or Earth, manifestation through gratitude for Mother Earth. And at this point, we've got Venus moving into Sagittarius, crossing into a new sign. Interesting, I find this interesting because, first of all, this is one star, which is about Venus, and we just had the Hunter's Moon, which Sagittarius is also known as the Hunter. Anyway, just a little aside there. Anyway, Venus moving into Sagittarius, this brings the spirit of abundance to our love affairs. First attractions may seem very romantic, but the happy wanderer is not always sure about sacrificing freedom for the relationship. Anyway, this is outgoing energy for social engagements, travel, spirited friendships. Venus is about money as well as romance and socializing. So until November 11th, when Venus enters Capricorn, folks may feel as though money is more abundant with Venus in Sagittarius. And then October 19th is 11 Etsnab, or Flint, resolution through being introspective. And at this point, we have Mars conjunct Pluto. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mars and Pluto are at the same degree of Capricorn. So this can bring a few days where we feel a surge of power and more awareness of our deeper, darker desires, but also severe conflicts of ego that may lead to disruptive and potentially violent interactions. The connection between these traditional and modern ruler of Scorpio, and then also an alignment between planet octaves, with Mars representing our desire and personal will, and Pluto is the transcendent will of the universe and the empowerment of the authentic self. Mars merging with Pluto affects us for a few days before and after the 19th, which would be a good time to really channel this energy into physical activities rather than allow it to build up as anxiety and irritability. The 20th is 12 Kawak, or Storm, which is about understanding through recognizing the gifts of adversity. And at this point, we have Mercury in opposition to Uranus. So from our perspective here on the Earth, Mercury and Uranus are at a 180-degree angle, which is another example of planet octaves. Mercury represents personal thought and communication along with short-distance travel. Uranus represents long-distance travel and transpersonal thoughts and communications. There is tension in this opposition as people will think and speak hastily. They may impulsively say things that they don't mean. Important information may be overlooked as folks are just in too much of a hurry. This may leave them feeling scattered, nervous, and undisciplined. This could also be a time for brainstorming, as people will feel mentally stimulated, where they understand information much more quickly. Whatever the experience, it will need to stand the test of time before we're going to be clear about it. As with most transits involving Uranus, it favors new types of adventures and is repelled from the daily mundane routine. And then we get to October 21st and 13 Ahau, or Sun, a movement to the next stage through honoring the wisdom and memory of our ancestors. That's 13 Ahau is the completion of the Zolking round. As an aside, on 1 Emish, which will be the next report, that will be the completion of the care and feeding of a new world age. We're gonna be wrapping this up. I've been doing this for 5 years, putting this report out, and so anyway, and I just want to say I'm really grateful for everybody. There's been a lot of people who supported us, and I'm going to go through and share my gratitude in the 1 Emish report, the next one. So no matter what energies are affecting you during the 1-star transcendent, just take some time to be in the flow of the planet by being in nature, watching a sunrise or a sunset, communing with the stars, being conscious of the moment through introspection, meditation, or just really even being conscious when you're with somebody you love. Every day is a blessing, no matter what dramas beckon to distract us. We're all here giving the performance of a lifetime on this world stage. Just take some time to observe your play as well as act your part by remembering you're a spiritual being that's having a human experience. I want to thank you for checking out New World Birth. The next segment of the care and feeding of a new world age will be on October 22nd for one Amish or crocodile, with the sun entering Scorpio and the final episode. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and the Mayan Magics website. And I encourage you to share this information as videos or as text as widely as you choose. And I invite you to contact me at newworldbirth@yahoo.com if you've got any questions or you wish to schedule a reading. And I am providing readings and do wish to make this service available to the greatest amount of folks. So I've created 3 options with 3 levels of compensation. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me. I would love to provide you a reading during these uncertain times. And even though I won't be putting out the care and feeding reports anymore, I am still providing readings. So if you've been thinking about getting a reading, please contact me. You'll need to be able to either call me in Maine in the USA, or we can connect with Skype to receive your reading. And we're still accepting donations. Basically, things have been pretty lean, so it's time to call it. Like I said, I'm still available for readings after the final episode of the Care and Feeding on One Amish. And as always, I'm blessed that you've taken the time to connect with my passion for these ancient mysteries and their application to our journey during this incarnation. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste and in Lakesh.